TWM podcast.
Hello to one, hello to all, and welcome to episode number 3 of Raw Talk. This is a TWM wrestling podcast, and we are sponsored by Squared Circle Box. Please quote TWM News at checkout for 10% off of your first order at squaredcirclebox.com. I'm your host, and it's draft week, everyone. I'm Dan Lloyd. Joining us in the middle of the card, I'd call him our Humberto Carrillo, is Matty Deller.
Hey, what's going on, you dicks? Yeah, this is weird. This is weird, me being a guest on your podcast.
I know, I love it.
The first thing I want to do is start putting out notes. Is like I'm imagining you're going to list through all the ways you can listen after you've introduced me and George then. Because you've not done it yet. I'm going to critique you the entire podcast. You do know this.
Yeah, I know. I fucking hate it.
Welcome to your worst nightmare. Anyway, introduce the other one.
And finally, our blue chipper himself, George Geal. How you doing?
I'm good. They let me out of my Thursday cage.
Well, go on, tell us where we can listen then. Go on. Podcast boy.
I usually do this at the end.
Podcast boy. Dance for the people. Go on, dance for them.
Fuck, I regret everything. So do you actually... Because in the intro that I've got here, it doesn't say anything about...
You know why? I've done a good coming up to 170 podcasts to the point where I know it off the top of my head without prompt. I can just go through them all now off the top of my head now if you want me to.
Yes, please.
Right, we are available on Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube, and wherever else you get your podcasts.
That went too quick for me.
See, told you. Write it down next time. Must try harder. Anyway, go on. Do
the teacher of Matty Deller is coming out here.
Yeah, I've already put a red dot on your work to go back in green marking and correct it. Let's see what else you've got, boy.
Right, you can listen to us on.
Yes. Wow. I'm leaving all of this in, by the way. You do know that.
Right, so this week's episode of Monday Night Raw was obviously the second part of the draft. So that brings us to the big talking point of the episode itself with the WWE Draft. So just as a quick run through of who went where, to Raw we had Seth Rollins, Charlotte Flair, Andrade with Zelina Vega. We had the Kabuki Warriors, Rusev, Aleister Black, Cedric Alexander, Humberto Carrillo, Eric Rowan.
Yes! I'm doing it on your behalf. I'm doing it on your behalf because you're reading it out. It's fine.
Buddy Murphy, Jinder Mahal, R-Truth.
Why?
Samoa Joe, Akira Tozawa, Shelton Benjamin, Rey Mysterio, Titus O'Neil.
Why?
Liv Morgan.
Can I quickly point something out before we go to the questions? Did anyone else clock? Because on Smack Talk we were wondering, is Joe injured? Like he's doing he's like doing really good analysis. Yeah. He's injured. He is injured. Did you think that he got a lot of people going, is Joe injured? Why is he just on the kickoff, like on the draft panel? And then WWE have gone, if we're going to get you a bright pink cast, then it must be on the table at all times, so everyone knows you've got a broken arm. It's just, I only caught that. I was like, I swear he didn't have a cast. Either they've broken his arm to prove a point, Mafia style, or they've gone, we're going to give you a fluorescent pink cast and you must roll your sleeves up and sit at a jaunty angle with your arm on a table.
Or it's on their mend and they made them just put it on anyway. You're fit to work, but put this on.
Yeah, we want you to work. Actually, can you just put his arm there, just hit it with a hammer, just bang, there we go, now you've got a cast on.
I just want to point out that the last thing I think I remember seeing Samoa Joe as part of was the angle where he got involved with Eric Rowan. So
King of the Ring.
That's all the explanation we need.
So you saying that Eric Rowan is responsible for Samoa Joe's injury?
Yes.
I'm waiting for the point where you tell us that Eric Rowan is lizard people.
All right. Also, we have going to SmackDown: Brock Lesnar, The New Day, Daniel Bryan, Bayley, Shinsuke Nakamura with Sami Zayn, Ali.
Sami Zayn.
I know.
Don't bring that up. It's the fact that he's cast as he's the +1 at this wedding.
Stephanie didn't even say his name. Stephanie just went heading to SmackDown. The Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura.
And then you just see Sami Zayn just behind his shoulder.
Oh, remember them two had like the best match ever like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now he's basically he's a +1.
We also had Ziggler and Rude, Carmella, The Miz, King Corbin, Shorty Gable, why? And Elias.
Because
where's Elias been? I feel like
he's injured as well.
Yeah, he's injured out as well. There's a bunch of them that are injured. Okay. Joe, Drew, Elias, Jinder,
Jeff. Well, I mean,
Jeff wasn't.
Isn't Titus? Isn't Titus injured as well?
I think Titus might be like.
Apparently, their injury pile is huge.
Also, you can't really. Yeah, Jeff Hardy's injured, but you can't draft someone that's incarcerated. So
yes, continue. We'll get onto that later.
Right. So obviously, the big first talking point was that Charlotte Flair's heading back to Raw.
I genuinely thought you was going to say Eric Rowan. I was waiting for the joke and it didn't come.
No, I am the host on this show and I am damn professional.
What?
Saying Charlotte going over, is it just me? The second. Well, Andrade's going to Raw, Aleister Black's going to Raw. This is a bit boring now because you sort of their whole policy. It's
an official WWE policy that couples have to be on the same brand, which is why they split up R-Truth and Carmella.
And that's why Naomi can't be on a brand because the Usos are unlisted.
But legit. I've been reading up on the background of some of the picks why, and some people the pick that haven't gone back and forth thanks to Meltzer, as we know is always correct. And he said the reason why they split up Truth and Mella, even though they're really over as an act, is that the USA wanted dibs on the 24/7 title, so Truth has to go to because it was their idea.
It's because it was their idea.
Yeah, for the belt. And Mella's obviously going out with old Gravesy Boy.
The worst announcer in the company.
Of course. I actually forgot about that.
Because she broke up his marriage.
Did you not watch Total Divas? No, she fucking didn't.
No, she didn't. I saw this clip. I don't watch it.
#, we stand Mella.
I will say this. I was sat watching TV with my mum, and I think she had Pick on or something like that, and Total Divas had an advert come on UK telly.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Listen to Best of the Rest. It's generally, I'm not even exaggerating, the best WWE show I'm watching at the moment.
Genuinely, I always remember when I went to New Orleans for WrestleMania 30. Well, I was in the hotel room and there was just an episode of Total Divas on. I didn't leave for like 3 hours.
It's really good. It's so captivating. Anyway, Charlotte Flair, as you were saying.
Yes. So she's gone back to Raw. George, how would you start her off on Raw? Because obviously the go-to feud is her and Becky Lynch, but it's been done to death. So where would you have her? Who would you have her against?
No one else. There's literally I cannot think of one on that brand that's not already in a tag team. Because obviously. Because you can't even really partner her up with anyone either. Because Lacey Evans has gone to SmackDown.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm hoping to see something different because I've actually looked at the women's rosters and after the draft they look so thin.
I've a feeling that we might get a bunch of people called up from NXT. Like not people. Very similar to what they did before. They won't call up the big names. It'll be people underneath. So
you're saying Dakota Kai is going to get called up to Raw?
No, she's going to be a big deal on NXT, as is Tegan. Like, not me just being Dakota Kai fangirl. She's going to be a big deal on NXT in the future because she's pretty, like, if there wasn't Candice, Dakota's the closest thing they've got to a female Gargano, as in the underdog babyface.
Yeah, true.
Honestly, whoever, who's the two people? Rhea Ripley, and when Rhea Ripley's going to beat Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair is going to SmackDown. no doubt in my mind.
No, they can't do that because that's splitting up a couple.
Then she'll go to Raw then. Either way,
she's married to Montez. No, she's not.
Montez Ford, you are correct. I do have a plan for Charlotte, and it comes from that booking hotbed of 1999 WCW.
Oh, God. For sake.
Charlotte Flair versus Judy Bagwell. Yeah.
We put Charlotte on a forklift. No, my idea was back in '99, Ric Flair, when he was in charge of WCW, had Charles Robinson as Little Nate, as basically his lackey who would dress like Little Nate. I say we get a little Charlotte with someone that's not done anything in ages in Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan's Raw, isn't she?
Yes.
And then you have them feud either with the Kabuki Warriors or Bliss and Cross.
Interesting.
I like that, actually. That's good.
Yeah. I think, I prefer that, honestly, I prefer that to her being, like, the valet for the Fiend. I'd rather her be, like, mini Charlotte than her be the Fiend. She can't be that anymore. I know she can't be anymore, but I prefer that idea of her being, like, mini Charlotte.
Well, I mean, where you said WCW in 1999, Vega with Charlotte with Andrade on a pole.
Can we bring in David Flair? What's he up to? I imagine you're going to come onto it, but kind of, does anyone, what was everyone's, like, strongest pick from Monday night? Like, what was everyone's...
just a Raw or
both of them. Like, what one was your strongest pick?
See, my strongest pick was one that Joe shot down earlier today, and it was The Miz to SmackDown.
See, I would have said that, but he got drafted so low down that I don't know if you can class him as a top quality pick. Like, he got drafted below Ziggler.
He was number 22.
Oh, man, why me?
He got drafted after the likes of Jinder Mahal, Eric Rowan, Humberto Carrillo, R-Truth. He barely scraped past Akira Tozawa, who hasn't been main roster in, 2-3 years?
Like, the Miz one baffles me more.
Yeah.
He's going to be a great pick either way, because he's a solid hand, and him on SmackDown probably makes more sense, because I know Lesnar's the champion.
Continental title.
No, I was going to say, I really hope they, he's really good as a face, and I like him as a face, but I do think they can, if they wanted to, particularly turn him quite quickly into a viable heel, and I think SmackDown's the best chance of him getting a world title run.
For sure.
Still, even though Lesnar's champion at the moment. But the one thing that baffles me is they've put Miz on Fox when his show's on the USA Network.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's just genuinely baffling pick. My top pick. I'm trying to think, going through who I think was a really, really solid pick.
Do you want me to tell you the ones that were done on SmackDown to remind you?
No, I'm trying to. I honestly, it sounds silly, but Liv Morgan being the final pick for Raw, I think was a pretty solid pick.
Yeah,
mainly because I feel like she's just very good, and they've not really given her a kind of a shot yet. So I hope they give her a shot in the future. Aleister Black, I'm not surprised that he's gone to Raw, because
I was hoping he'd go to SmackDown because of his kickboxing background and the sports focused Fox. I thought they would have put him there.
However, when it comes to character development, I don't think you can get anyone better to develop a character like Aleister Black than Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Like, I mean, I know a lot of it was the guy behind it, but I mean, he still had to put out the product of Raven, and I think Aleister Black is a very similar character to Raven. I would like them to kind of really play on that, whether they keep him face or heel. The other big, kind of just switching gears a little bit, and I'll let Dan get back to his questions. I'm totally not taking over this podcast, I promise. Based off that second draft, have you noticed, look at the SmackDown Women's division and tell me the other faces that aren't Carmella.
There's one face. One face.
No. Technically, I think there are two, because I think yesterday was meant to be a face turn for Lacey Evans.
Joe was right there. We spoke about this on Smack Talk on Saturday. He was like, well, of course she's going to Fox. It's to make her a face to appease the conservative audience. She's a face for all the Republicans. They split the horsewomen up, which makes sense. They split up in a very weird way. They split Charlotte and Becky on one, and Bailey
I covered this in my article, which will be going out tonight.
Yes, it will go out probably just after this, I imagine.
So give it a read.
Yeah, go on, Dan. I kind of derailed you there, but
no, yeah, I was actually just going to talk about that. I was going to say that SmackDown only have 5 available women on their roster at the moment, with Bailey, Banks, Evans, Tamina, and Carmella.
I forgot
Tamina.
Tamina's a face in our eyes.
No, she's not. No, she's not. She's not even a face if she wants to be a face.
If you look at the people they've got that haven't been brought in, Naomi's going to go to SmackDown. It makes
eventually
sense.
But only once the Usos go. But also, that creates an interesting paradox as well, because tag team wise, Raw only has 3 tag teams, whereas SmackDown has 6. So the Usos are more likely to go to Raw.
Who was SmackDown's tag team?
SmackDown have got...
SmackDown have the Revival, the New Day, Ziggler and Rude, Lucha House Party, Heavy Machinery, and the B Team.
And technically, if you want to include it, Shinsuke Nakamura and...
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them a tag team, because I don't feel like Zayn has wrestled in
a while. But like based on the free agents of tag teams, you've only got, I think, 4 more.
Usos.
5 more. Usos, Hawkins and Ryder,
Hardys,
AOP, Ascension, and Hardys 6.
AOP will go to Raw because they've been building them up on Raw.
Ascension will go to AEW.
Ascension will end up on main event. Or somebody get drafted to that show. So you said Usos, Hardys,
Colognes.
I'm about to say you forgot the Colognes, wherever they end up. Surely that's the clutch bit. We're talking about free agency. If you want to go on to free agency now, there's one person that I really think is a huge pickup that's on the injured reserve list. They won't be back for a while, but I'll...
Before we go on to the free agent pool, are there any surprise picks that you guys didn't see coming?
Yes.
Who?
Jinder Mahal being actively used on Raw, and Titus O'Neil's name being mentioned as well. Really? Really?
Jinder's a jobber to the stars now, though, isn't he? Like he's got that.
Titus O'Neil's just a dad. Like he is a philanthropist.
He's an award-winning dad.
He's an award-winning dad, right? But he's I don't know the word philanthropist.
He's a good role model for Raw. He can take people like Humberto Carrillo under his wing.
Like he did with Akira Tozawa.
They could restart Titus worldwide.
No.
They could.
Yes. We can then Titus worldwide. Yeah, love it. All for it.
All right. So moving on to the free agency.
Yeah.
The men. We have Cesaro, Luke Harper,
poor bastard,
Mojo Rawley, No Way Jose. Surely some of these guys are more relevant to the main roster than some people who were picked, not naming any names.
Well, if you were to say use Luke Harper as in, you've got a choice. They've got a choice really. They can send him to Raw, reunite that tag team with Eric Rowan, adding another tag team to their pool of their very sparse pool of tag teams at the moment, or you could put him on SmackDown and potentially rekindle a Wyatt family 3.0 because you've got Strowman there and Wyatt.
You can't do that. Strowman is his own character now. However flawed he may be when he loses to Tyson Fury.
But the idea of Harper going to Raw with Rowan and us getting pretty much a series of matches where Harper and Rowan, the OC and the Viking Raiders, just beat the ever-loving shit out of each other sound brilliant to me.
That does sound tasty.
To be fair, you do also have the AOP and also...
Oh, that means Raw could be like the big bastard tag division.
Yeah, it is going to be that.
Big bastards and Street Profits.
They're going to bring back Tugboat and her.
Tugboat. Is that Bo Dallas's new gimmick? Tugboat!
Dan, you do realise on your undrafted men section, Luke Harper twice.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, because he's so good he should have been drafted twice at this point.
But with the other ones, Cesaro, I want to say NXT UK.
Yeah, NXT UK.
Oh,
yes.
I reckon he's going to NXT. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns up this Wednesday.
Regular role.
I would love it in NXT UK because like the matches you can have in NXT America would be amazing. But just if you have a look at NXT UK and what he can do with the likes of Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, he's already had it in the Dragunov.
Oh, I've just had the thought of who else is down there. We could get Mustache Mountain versus Kings of Wrestling.
Yes, Chris Hero, Kashizono. That was the other reason.
My one, it's not been mentioned. She's on injured reserve, and I think she's going to be a really big pickup when she comes back.
Yeah.
Ruby Riott.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm shocked she didn't get picked up in free agency yet. I love what we're talking about. It's like it's legitimate sport, but
no. If you saw those war rooms, this is legit.
Oh, for God's sake!
Right, They had robots. They had a guy who, for some reason, just had a peacock on his screen.
You had a guy with a face paint like Ultimate fucking Warrior.
Right, I guarantee if anyone in the USA or the Fox Network turned up during that Friday or Monday to work with Ultimate Warrior face paint, they would have been fired on the fucking spot. Yeah, I want to point out, we said this on Friday, and I believe that Alvarez kicked off about this on Wrestling Observer as well. You're trying to make this look like a legitimate, Fox want to be seeing this scene as a legitimate sporting product, and you've got a fucking robot dancing around as basically looking like he's a business member of your team.
He is. He's business Robocop.
Oh no, he's we found out he's Cletus the football robot from the NFL.
Okay.
Saying about unpicked up ones and ones that we're surprised, despite the fact being injured, is one you've actually missed off your list, and it's Ember Moon.
Oh,
she's apparently a very, very long. I had a look because I was wondering where Ember Moon where she was, and what it is it's either an ankle injury, which would be a few months. Or, worst case scenario, it's an Achilles injury, which is what Edge had, where Edge would be out, where Edge was out for, I think Edge came back early, 9 months, but an Achilles injury could be between 12 to 18 months out, if it's an Achilles injury.
Oh,
mental. Sorry to interrupt, but I did say, you saying Ruby Riott, I had another point to add before I mentioned Ember Moon. Yeah. And that was, Ruby comes back, SmackDown, alongside Sarah Logan, 2/3 of the Ruby Riott squad back together, and this I did write this in my article, but I will just spot it a little bit. Sasha and Bayley versus 2/3 of the Riott squad.
No, I don't because you've got the Kabuki Warriors who are the tag champs. I don't see how it would be viable with the depth of the SmackDown women's division to have a major tag team rivalry. Also, I would much prefer to see Sarah Logan join Raw and join up with the Viking Warriors.
I was literally going to say...
Viking Raiders, sorry.
I reckon she's going to end up joining the Viking Raiders. Yeah. I don't know what, another person, and I know it's hilarious that I'm bringing it up, Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
Not been drafted at all.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means they can choose where they want to go.
I find this fucking hilarious that they've gone and Fox and USA, you can pick who you want, and then you've got the undrafted ones, and they can. I didn't really want Dana Brooke, and Dana go, well, fuck you, I choose to go to Raw.
What I would really like to see is anybody who got undrafted, they just went, oh, fuck you, we're just going to create another brand.
We're bringing back ECW. Or even better, 5-star. Bring it back.
Oh, I would live to see the colognes on 5-star.
A lot of the unlisted in draft pools, though, a lot of them are for some reason or inactive for another reason, aren't they? Because you got
most of them are injuries.
Yeah,
a bunch of them is like the actual NFL, where a lot of them are just in prison.
Well, I mean, if you run down this list, you've got inactive because they can't drink, they can't handle their drink, and they decide to get the car and fire policeman. Oh. Jeff because he's injured and
injured.
Oh yeah, that's why Jeff wasn't drafted.
He is actually injured, but as well as being arrested. Matt, I don't think Matt has a reason why.
Matt's doing house shows. I know that. By the way, did you guys see the WWE version of Rebecca Vardy and Colleen Rooney happen between Matt and Jeff's wives?
Oh God!
Proper kicking off at each other. It was glorious scenes.
It was funny. You got Sheamus, who's injured but possibly retired due to his spinal stenosis. No one knows. Leah Rush will undoubtedly go into NXT.
Oh, he's NXT now, confirmed.
He's 100%. Naomi, wherever the Usos go, she'll go. Lars Sullivan, injured.
I don't think he's ever coming back.
What is his injury?
He's not got injury. All that stuff happened, and he's suffered with
anxiety.
No, he did have an injury.
He does have an injury.
He has got an injury, but also I feel like that maybe all that stuff that came out as he debuted, and he does suffer from meningitis. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an alleged similar to Kylie Ray situation where he's just like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to do this.
Maybe, but I don't know. I would be intrigued to see if he came back.
We got injured in June, and it's a 6 to 9 month outage. So December to March. Back
I was going to say Rumble. Yeah.
Was it only June when he got injured?
Well, it says on his Wikipedia page, it says June 10th he beat the Lucha House Party. However, he injured his June 10th. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like he's been gone for like a year.
Yeah, so do I. The interesting one of unlisted was Lana.
Well, she's on Raw.
She's 100% Raw. I don't know why they've unlisted her.
But I guess she's just maybe not an active competitor because she's at this point more of just an actress
in the softcore porn that her and Bobby are making on Raw. Did anyone else have to? I was watching that on my lunch break at work and genuinely fast forward for embarrassment.
I didn't watch it at all.
I did see the smile that Bobby gave when he looked underneath the towel, and that did make me laugh. But yeah, this is like that almost went on uncomfortably long as well.
Yeah, and she was like harder, deeper.
Yeah. I was hoping that I hadn't when I'd watched it on my phone that the person who'd ever like put it up online, because I have to watch it at work because I haven't got time to watch it at home, hadn't accidentally turned over to the softcore porn. The 10-minute preview's on. Switch, just go straight over.
Again, looking at your list, I have a very interesting question. Where should you go? It'd be Nia Jax.
I would think SmackDown.
I would say SmackDown.
Yeah, probably.
Although, actually, we didn't get much of a finish to the thing between her and Becky, so...
That is true. I wouldn't be sure. She'll probably be back in the... Again, much like Lars, back in the Rumble. Two people that a lot of people don't like, so... both back in the Rumble.
Except for Matty, because he absolutely loves Total Divas.
Yeah, I don't like her, though. Did you not... Did you not see?
I don't watch it.
It's not real, Matty. Did follow them around with cameras?
I'm not joking, and I apologise for using that word. We generally had a how many times did you think that Nia Jax is a cunt counter on Friday?
Jesus.
Well, watch it.
On my podcast, you don't use those words.
What, Nia Jax?
I absolutely love that Sonya Deville even tweeted out saying, "Why am I a free agent?"
Yeah, Fire and Desire haven't been taken at all.
This is the thing. This is the thing that I feel. I feel like they're gonna keep some of the female tag teams as undrafted for a little bit, so that they can go against the Kabuki Warriors, because it was announced that they can be on both shows.
They have hammered home that a tag team's getting split up, and I think it's going to be Rose and Deville.
I can imagine that to be the case, because Deville posted up on Twitter and saying she said she wanted to go in for a rivalry with, I want to say, Charlotte.
I thought Deville would go to SmackDown, Mandy would go to Raw.
Well, also Deville would be used as an absolute role model because she's the first openly gay female, and they would be like her, be amazing, and be like, accept who you are. Blah.
Be a star.
Be a star.
Damn it.
Exactly. Another person who we've missed out on, and I know he's not really an active competitor like Lana, Drake Maverick.
He did tweet. He did tweet today. He was tweeting back and forth with Progress, and then someone tweeted him, and he pretty much went, "Well, I've seemingly been forced into an early retirement, so I have no idea what's happened to Drake Maverick at this point."
NXT UK, him versus his Scarlett to be thingy's bitch.
Yeah, bring him to NXT UK. I'd like that. This podcast, and indeed all TWM podcasts, are brought to you by SquaredCircleBox.com, the only place for your monthly wrestling box needs. With things from superstars from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, British Wrestling, Independent Wrestling, and loads more, it is the only place that matters if you want to get the best wrestling swag for a low, low price. That low, low price is just £25, people. What a bargain! And you can get snapbacks, t-shirts, magazines, DVDs, trinkets, whatchamacallit, doodads, you name it, they have it each and every month. And just because you listen to TWM, you sexy, sexy people, you get 10% off your first order. All you got to do is use the code TWM News in the checkout. Just use the code TWM News in the checkout for 10% off your first order at SquaredCircleBox.com.
Why not spread? I said, why not spread the gospel of the TWM squad with some of our lovely merch over at Teespring? We have t-shirts for all shapes and sizes, hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and loads more. Also, just for listening to this podcast, you can get 10% off your order. I said using the code podcast. That's podcast. Once again, podcast in the checkout for 10% off at teespring.com/stores/TWM-wrestling-merch. That's right. Praise. Testify.
We discussed the draft. Dan, can we now talk about the
Rest of the shit,
attempted arson of an innocent man's house?
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody remembers this, but wasn't it eerily reminiscent of a certain storyline with Randall Keith?
Yeah, but this time, Bray Wyatt did nothing wrong. He was doing his kids' TV show, and Seth turns up, kicks the shit out of him. Bray then goes, "Please stop hurting me." He continues, burns his house down, and murders Bray's friend. Seth Rollins is like the worst human being on the planet.
It was also the shittest set I've ever seen, though. Like, it was just a table and a wall.
Hey, you don't criticize the Firefly Funhouse.
No, yeah,
don't you mean the Firehouse Funhouse?
The Firehouse Fun.
No, that's for next week, because it turns out that Vince is going to turn him into a fireman.
Oh,
Fireman Bray.
Seth,
so that's going to be the feud. Seth is going to want to burn it down, and what is he going to do? What's he going to do? Chase him around Raw with
No! Next week, Seth's cutting a promo, and all we hear is as the Fiend rides in a fire truck. Also, we can't speak of the dead because Ramblin' Rabbit sadly perished in the fire. R.I.P. This podcast is a loving memory.
And the poor man sat under the table.
Fourth time?
Yeah, the poor man is a puppet master under the table. He's dead, definitely. He had the fire pushed on him. An innocent stagehand died at the hands of Seth Rollins. Why is he not in jail?
Right, so do you guys think that this was the long-term heel turn for Seth Rollins? Was it a double turn? Was it...
Not on purpose.
That Bray, as the Firefly Funhouse TV show host, is a face and the Fiend is the heel? Or how do you guys see this working out?
Matt, you go first.
I was genuinely going to say you go first because I do have a theory on where they're going with this.
All right, well, I was going to say I don't class him as a heel because of how much he is by every single person, whether it be as creepy Mr. Robbins host or as the Fiend. But the things he says, the way he acts would suggest he would be the heel. Obviously, with him going over to SmackDown, his and Rollins feud ends in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, October 31st. Crown Jewel, if you forgot about it.
WWE Network.
WWE Network. It ends there in the Falls Count anyway, which is obviously going to be the way of ending the feud, and he'll disappear to SmackDown. But I would agree with you. I would say this could potentially be the long-term plan for turning Rollins heel, and I am 100% okay with that because his smarmy heel is the best he's ever been.
Agreed.
I feel like they will turn Seth. I feel like they turn Seth heel by accident, by hammering home. He's cool, guys. Look at him. He's cool. He's got a cap on. He rides a skateboard. He's really cool. That's how WWE booked Seth Rollins. Don't
Is that your
even
impression
argue.
of Michael Cole?
Yeah, that's Michael Cole in the booking meetings. He just sings that and then like does a dab, and everyone's really confused. And Vince shouts at him.
Wasn't that so cool?
And then Vince shouts at him because he thought Michael Cole was sneezing. The thing is, though, what could be the saving grace on this is if they have killed off the Bray Wyatt side of this character.
What, and just have him?
Okay.
Basically, ideally next week they should have the entire 3 hours. The Fiend should be fucking everyone shit up because Seth has killed the Firefly Funhouse. He has killed the safe space. He has killed the one place that keeps Bray Wyatt from going to the Fiend. If there is nowhere for Bray Wyatt to hide, remember he mentioned the round break, goes, "You're safe here. You're safe from everyone here in the Firefly Funhouse."
True.
There is no Firefly Funhouse. There is only Fiend. The Fiend needs to kill at least 3 people next week.
Titus O'Neil, Jinder Mahal,
God.
and No Way Jose. Fuck it.
Yeah, just
He's not even on Raw.
Well, he might be back.
You know, back in the day when they first debuted Kane, and halfway,
and they said he wore a mask because he was so scarred from.
no, not that, where they'd have like a random match in the middle of the show, and at least one match a week, the lights would go out, Kane would come out, and he'd like destroy everyone in the ring.
Yeah.
The Fiend should do that for the next leading up to Crown Jewel.
Right, okay, but I do have a question because now the draft has been finalised. Surely that means that until Crown Jewel, Rollins and Wyatt shan't meet.
Separated. Yeah.
If WWE are clever, they will announce on backstage that the draft officially takes effect after Crown Jewel, but they won't. So none of this makes any sense.
Yeah,
I have a very good long-term book for the Fiend, and it is basically come down. Survivor Series is very soon. What do they do with Survivor Series? Monday, Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head for the only time of the year, yada, yada, yada. Universal Champion, Seth Rollins. WWE Champion, Brock Lesnar. The Fiend interrupts the match, fucks the both of them over. Seth Rollins gets his comeuppance for burning down the Firefly Funhouse. Brock Lesnar gets legitimate challenger for the world title.
Personally, I don't think they'll do it. I don't think Heyman would book it this way. Next week on Raw should end with it would really I don't know. It might make someone look weak, but genuinely, I would Raw should end with Seth, I don't know, walking down a corridor, running and seeing Becky Lynch laid out and just seeing like the charred remains of Rambling Rabbit next to her. So the Fiend is taking out. You've hurt something I love. I'm going to hurt something you love, and they won't do it. They won't do it. But
I genuinely thought you were going to go. Becky Lynch is just laid out, and next to her, the charred remains of her hair.
She's completely bald, Daniel.
So what's he going to do then on SmackDown? He's going to take out brains and just start taking out. He's just going to AEW.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're going to take out everything you love.
The booking makes no sense because if they split them off on SmackDown, they can't do anything for Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Matt, when does the booking ever make sense?
Sometimes.
See, the thing with Crown Jewel is not canon to the rest of the year. It doesn't have any rhyme or reason. It doesn't make sense. It's just oil money seeping into the pores of every single WWE employee.
Damn you,
and we,
GTM.
the fans, love it.
I mean, it's an event this year that we're getting Hulk Hogan on our screens for probably about 20 minutes in a 5-on-5.
Probably longer. Probably longer. That's probably an hour.
Yeah, no, I am not surprised if because they've announced Cesaro Mansoor and they've announced that tag team turmoil match.
Oh my god, that tag team turmoil match is one of the worst.
I know tag team. No, look, the annoying thing is, I love that stipulation. So if anything, they're making me want to watch the show more. I love tag team turmoil.
But there's no rhyme or reason. It's just to be the best tag team in the world.
Yeah, there wasn't.
No one's going to run with that gimmick other than Shane McMahon.
There was, yeah. So when Shane and Steph win it, it's going to be great.
I want that Shane to just enter on it.
Yeah, it's just that show's going to legitimately be 5 minutes. It's going to be an NXT takeover, but over 5 hours.
It's six matches announced for it.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah,
they'll throw in some sort of, Rumble.
They'll do Ali in that title.
Yeah, and it'll be
Ricochet and AJ for the US title.
Yeah,
something like that.
Did anything else happen on Raw, Dan?
Well, we've got the results. I'll do a quick run through. Becky Lynch defeated Charlotte Flair to secure Raw the first draft.
That was a
pick.
really good match.
It was a good match, but Becky was always going to win that match, so that Raw could secure their first pick, because Raw has to have 3 picks, and by God, they can't ever just do it so that SmackDown has the top one and then Raw has 2.
Yeah, no,
they always have to have Raw first.
I only clocked that Raw had to win both matches like halfway through Raw. I'm like, of course they've got to win the first pick, because it goes.
Yeah,
they've got 3-2, so it has to go Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown. Otherwise, at the end, SmackDown gets 2 in a row, which makes no sense. We're doing ABAB, not ABBA penalty shootouts.
After that, Andrade defeated Ali. A quick match. I would have liked to seen it go a little bit longer, and I'm pretty sad that these two won't get much of a chance to compete against one another for a while.
Yeah.
But I was really happy to see Andrade get a first round pick.
Yeah. He's going to be big cakes on Raw, I feel.
100%.
And we get to see Andrade against Ray again.
Yes, maybe we can actually see a proper culmination to that doesn't end on a...
Come on, yeah. Mask versus hair. Do it, you cowards.
We have new Raw Tag Team Champions in the Viking Raiders. They defeated Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler.
Are we surprised?
Yeah, again, almost felt certain that the Raiders were going to win this one. Roode and Ziggler then got drafted to SmackDown, but the two of the teams do have great chemistry together. I was
going to say 2 things. One, the Raiders were massively over by the end of that match.
Yeah.
The crowd 100%. Loved them. And secondly, did you not hear the names that the Viking Raiders dropped in their promo?
No.
They said they cut a promo after and said, we're the first team to win the IWGP, the Ring of Honor, and the NXT and the Raw Tag Team titles. I was like, oh, hello. Like, I love they didn't mention New Japan by name. They mentioned IWGP. So let casual fans are not going to know what that means.
Well, they've done that before in the Cruiserweight Classic when they had Kota Ibushi and then you have Mariano spouting off Matt the IWGP and the best of Super Juniors.
They did that with, randomly, when they first did the draft, the first thing out of Michael Cole's mouth when Finn Balor made his first match was, Finn Balor won the NWA Junior Heavyweight title back in 2000. Like, what the like, he went through his entire, title, like he read out his title history off of Wikipedia. It was really, really strange.
The one thing I'm happy about Viking Raiders winning this title is I'm genuinely happy team of it is they are getting their not come up and they're getting their dues. They're finally getting recognised, because when they first went on to War as the Viking War Raider Experience, or whatever the fuck it was called, they were being put as mugs, and then they sort of carried on being mugged off a little bit, a shitty heel run, then a face turn, and their stock has just continued to rise higher and higher. And
it was always going to.
Yeah, it was always.
It's almost as if you let one of the best tag teams in the world wrestle on TV, they can get themselves over.
And when you have a man the size of Eric, I don't know which one it is. I can't remember which one's which. When you have the man kick, what's gonna go wrong?
It's true. Matty, are we all but certain that AOP are going to be their first?
Yeah, I imagine AOP are going to batter them once the draft takes effect. They're going to come out in their suits, the new APA of the AOP. They are, though. They're the new acolytes. I guarantee they're going to treat them like they're the acolytes. If JBL was on commentary, be like, he reminds me of a young Ron Simmons Maggle. They're going to do that.
That's such a good impression.
Right, so, George, obviously, AOP versus the Viking Raiders, we've got undefeated versus returning heavy tag team. AOP are coming in hot. Who do you think comes out of that feud? Because surely the loser of that might end up in a bit of a weird position.
Well, not only is it undefeated against returning momentum, it's big sweaty men versus big sweaty men, which Vince McMahon absolutely loves. So that's going to be a main event at some point. I would see AOP taking the win here because of how absent they've been. They want them to have a big impact, take a return, maybe not win the titles first time of asking, maybe get that win, but then have Viking Raiders sort of them have a little bit of a mini series, and then AOP as champion sort of running roughshod through the rest of the tag titles, their tag division, sorry. But I can see them giving AOP that slight push to start with because of their returning momentum.
I reckon.
See, for me, I would say keep it on the Viking Raiders, because at the moment, how many tag changes have we had in the past 6 months?
I agree. Keep it on the Raiders. Have AOP win maybe a non-title match, and then have a big match between these guys. Have a few stip matches. The AOP aren't going to look weak. They'll have the first month where they batter some jobbers, and then they'll attack unless they jump in straight. Well, they'll attack the Viking Raiders, I imagine, and then they'll have a few weeks battering jobbers.
I'd like to see if they did lose the actual title match, for them to just go on a bit of a tear and to start to attack everyone.
Basically, our way of booking Raw, we have the Fiend and AOP just destroying the entire roster.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So the Raw tag team division at the moment, if we assume that the AOP are going to join Raw, we've got the Viking Raiders, the OC, the Street Profits, and AOP, which means we're probably going to need a couple more tag teams to give a little bit of thickness to the division.
The Colognes and the Usos.
Are you really putting the Colognes back on TV?
Of course I'm not.
Where was Gable drafted to?
He was drafted to SmackDown.
It's Shorty Gable, don't forget.
No, I was going to put Shorty G and Shelty B back together, but
unfortunately not.
Can't do it.
Yeah, so George, which two singles competitors would you shoehorn into a tag team?
What, of people that have actually been currently
drafted on Raw?
Right, I'm going to have a quick look. I would go with... See, it's quite a hard one to go for, because it's sort of, there's people separated but kind of together, but I give you two examples here. Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah.
Or Ricochet and Akira Tozawa.
Okay. I could get behind both of those teams. Matty, how about you? Do you have any suggestions?
I am doing a read.
Matt had to do what I do and had to check.
I'm not. I know. I went to twm.news to check out the Who Went Where post that we put up. I'm just looking through both for us, because I was looking at night 1, night 2, and night 1. I'm looking at Tozawa personally. Okay. And I do appreciate that this is running massively long, but you got me on the podcast. You get what you pay for. And I'm trying to think of other people that potentially could team, because the one person I'm looking for, did Apollo Crews get drafted?
He got drafted to SmackDown.
Shit. Yeah. I was going to say put Crews and Tozawa together, because they'd be a really good team.
Oh, it's almost like...
Guys,
Wade!
No, I've got it. Sin Cara and Humberto Carrillo.
Ugh. They did draft Sin Cara for a reason, I guess.
Yeah, I've got my team, and I want them to go on a 3-year undefeated streak on Raw's Tag Team Champions, and that is Jinder Mahal and R-Truth. They could be called the Maharaja Truth. What's up?
Well, the other potential would be Eric Rowan being joined by Luke Harper if he was to join.
Yeah, I'd basically just put all the big teams on Raw and let them batter the shit out of each other, please.
See, but what I was thinking that we could potentially, I know it's a bit left field, but if you have Humberto Carrillo come up as a heel and pair him off with Andrade.
I would like that. I would like them putting Andrade, but then again, I feel like Andrade deserves more than being stuck in a tag team. I don't want him to get Zigglered. He does, but at the same time, do you see him making a main event push right away when there's the likes of McIntyre, Orton, Rollins, Styles, Owens, Black? Can I throw a left field boy if they come back together? Because I do like back in the day when they used to put the two megastars together as a team, and if we're continuing a big bastard team, I would love to see McIntyre and Samoa Joe as a tag team.
Oh, tasty.
That would be tasty.
And just call them just Ow. That's their team. Go to Lethal Bizzle, get the rights to Pow, and they can have that as their theme.
The thing is, if you look at the drafted superstars, obviously, like you say, Dan, you've got the big boys, you've got like Black, you've got Rollins, you've got Orton, that sort of thing. You have a look at the rest of the men. You've got Titus O'Neil, Rey Mysterio, Shelton Benjamin, Akira Tozawa, R-Truth, Jinder, Buddy, Humberto Carrillo, Cedric, Alistair, I don't really can choose, Rusev, Ricochet, and that's really it, and Bobby Lashley as well. I would love to see them do this, and it'd be an interesting choice, but it would be a case of Natalya, what she did this week.
What, Lashley and Rusev?
No. Buddy and Cedric.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be on board with that.
As heels or faces?
Faces. So for them to have a couple of matches, Buddy won this week, Cedric won the week, Cedric won again, Buddy go, you got the better of me, well done mate, handshake, Buddy turns face tag team.
Okay.
Just to kind of, because we could sit here and hypothetically book Raw tag teams.
This is the longest anyone's ever talking about the tag team division.
I know. We're giving more of a shit than the booking to me, actually. Genuinely, the worst Raw main event I can remember.
Oh, yeah.
Made no fucking sense. Why would Natalya... that's why I'm ending my sentence. Why would Natalya? And I'm just going to stop there.
Well, she tweeted out saying, keep your friends close, but enemy, devil emoji.
It's just...
Okay.
So, Dan, explain what happened quickly.
Right, so... Over the past, 5-6 weeks, Natalya and Lacey Evans have been getting into this really hot feud that ended in a last women's standing match.
A really good last women's standing match as well.
Yeah.
I will quickly just interrupt you. What the fuck started this feud?
That would be a good question if anybody knew.
Lacey kept cheap shotting Natalya, I think.
Oh, okay, there we have. Our wrestling oracle has spoken.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, and now they're friends because...
Mutual respect of 6 weeks. It's not exactly a Cammy, a Cammy, so I'm going to say that, a Sammy and Kevin situation, is it? Where it's
a Cammy.
A Cammy. And also they lost.
Yeah.
Made no sense. Anyone else, I thought it was going to be Rousey.
Oh, yeah, that would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, I thought the way she was acting is Rousey, and then King goes, surely not. And then Lacey comes out, and I've gone, well, I don't care about the next 10 minutes of this show.
See, this was the thing. As soon as they said Natalya and a secret partner, I just stopped caring. Natalya in it.
Unless it was going to be Eric Warren, you didn't want to know.
That would be a tag team that I could get behind.
Before we wrap things up, Dan, can I give a quick shout out to Buddy Murphy against Cedric, because that match slapped.
It was so good, and again, it was another match that I wish they just had more time with.
Yeah, it was, and even the time they had, they absolutely smashed it. It's just they're
so talented. Buddy Murphy, whenever he's on TV, you know he's throwing fire.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
have been Buddy Murphy's biggest fan for ages, and it's finally come.
If he's a face now, the idea of him going up against AJ for the US belt, moist.
Oh, don't.
Moist at the thought of Buddy Murphy versus AJ Styles for the US belt.
I am stiff at that thought.
I like how Matty said he's moist and George said he's stiff.
We are both ready for intercourse, Daniel.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Yeah. No, you can't.
To Tyson Fury.
No.
Because of his tweet he put out 4 days ago after SmackDown and after all of the press conferencey thing, he put, it's on at Gypsy King 101 versus Adam Share 99. First shout out to give using Strowman's actual Instagram at WWE in Saudi Arabia. Hashtag Fury versus Strawman. He spelt his surname wrong.
Oh, he made it as a fake argument rather than his actual name.
Look, he's an athlete, and if you follow an athlete on Twitter, you should know that grammar and spelling is not a strong point. And if you point it out to them, they will just say the exact same thing.
Also, just go check out Sammy Amiobi's Twitter for further information. It's generally the funniest thing in the world, if he's still got it.
Right. So, as a last little segment, I am going to ask both of you to fantasy book one superstar over the next few months until the Rumble. I'm going to do this completely at random. I'm just going to go up and down with my mouse and see where it stops. And George, we're going to go first with you. So you are fantasy booking. Genuinely, I didn't even make this up. You're fantasy booking.
I'm fantasy booking who?
Jinder
Mahal.
He remains injured for the rest of his life. And
okay, well, that was quick.
That was needlessly aggressive.
Right. So, Matty, let's see who do you end up with? Again, I'm actually not making it up.
O'Neil.
Humberto Carrillo.
First week in, he gets accidentally outed as a racist, and no one likes him. Basically, we just long out that episode of Father Ted where Father Ted keeps getting mistaken as a racist, and then at Crown Jewel he has to do a big PowerPoint presentation where he keeps flashing up the phrase "not a racist" over and over and over again.
Dan, I'm doing it for you as well. I'm only using done on last night because I can't be bothered.
I swear to God, if it lands on the person I think it's going to land on, I'm going to punch you somehow through the internet.
It nearly did, actually. I moved my mouse and stop the New Day.
Oh, right. So, see, the thing that I actually really want to happen with the New Day will never happen.
Accidental racists. Do it.
What?
Make them accidental racists as well.
No, I'm not going to shoehorn into this weird thing that you guys have. Right, so the New Day, I would probably say will be part of the Raw SmackDown 5-man tag match elimination chamber, but ultimately I don't see them doing a whole lot before the Rumble, because Kofi, maybe he'll face Lesnar again. Maybe, but it hasn't really been announced, and I can't see Lesnar doing much after Crown Jewel and Survivor Series. So I really don't know. Maybe have them feud with Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn.
They're going to tread water for a few months now. I don't think there's anything for them to do. They are back down to the mid-card / spokesperson role.
Big E turns heel.
It won't happen.
See, that's what I want to happen as well, but I would only want it to happen if, like, a Kofi or an Xavier Woods was champion.
Also, I feel like and this is a big compliment and a weird thing to say, New Day are at the Cena level, where I feel like they make too much money on merch for them to turn them turn them heel at this point.
Yeah,
true, actually.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is the end of our fantasy booking. So we have one who is injured forever, the other one outed as a racist, and the third is the New Day treading water. It's
failing that, I want Humberto's Crew to become a Hans Moleman style character.
What, just getting hit repeatedly in the nuts with a football?
Yes, every week he just cuts and goes, Humberto Carrillo presents Humberto Carrillo getting hit by football. And it's just...
But do you know what?
Do you know what? Mia Groino! And it falls down. And then...
But do you know what? I can actually make this into a feasible rivalry. Because, as you know, WWE, they like their mysteries. So, Humberto Carrillo gets hit with a football. First week, they look around, they can't see who it is.
It's the robot.
No. Then the second week, they find some grainy CCTV footage. It's Eric Rowan. It turns out that he was a high school football
I was
player.
hoping it was going to be someone from the XFL.
Oh, that'd be cool. What was it? What was the guy's name? The really famous one.
What? He Hate Me?
He Hate Me. It's He Hate Me.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. I feel like you may have done a wrong... Wait, wrap up the show. I'm going to quickly check something.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. I have a better idea. I just said I would love the fantasy booking to be Vince McMahon throwing the ball at him, telling him to get a personality.
It's just me throwing it. I was worried you did a Nicole Bass if He Hate Me, but no, he's alive. He went missing on in June, but then he was found safe, which is lovely. So
lovely.
And on that note, Dan.
All right, so that is it for episode 3 of Raw Talk. You can find us on social media, on Twitter at TWM Wrestle, Facebook.com/TWM Wrestle, Instagram at TWM Wrestle. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Acast, Podbean, and all of the usual places. And please, if you have enjoyed this episode, leave a star review. Matty, where can we find you on social media?
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to see if your other half has Twitter. I was going to give that out to annoy you, but
no, he doesn't.
Follow me at Mike C. Mears, because he's not going to listen to this, so up yours, I'm giving you a tour around, dickhead. Or at Matty ID. When this finishes and when this goes out, you got to read back loads of tweets about Bake Off that I'm now half an hour behind because of this podcast. Dan.
Just like I like it. George, where can we find you on social media?
At eBischoff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go find out.
He cut off for me. Did he cut off for you?
It took 4 takes, and that was the best one. Dan, just wrap the show up.
All right, you can find me at DRL_1990 on Twitter and Instagram. On TWM.news right now, we have Red versus Blue, the draft special by Benjamin Clem. We have Raw's 5 best 2019 draft picks and SmackDown's 5 best 2019 draft picks. You can tell that one of those was written by George Geal.
The other one's written by the excellent Ian Oliver. Just want to balance there.
Okay, that has been this episode of Raw Talk, and until next week.